Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network, May 5, 2025. All right, S&P 500 just getting another uh, bearish Harami just on the top, and we will see that 57 to 58.62. That's the area that I'm looking at. We may see another push, potentially another push higher, but this is kind of like the top that I'm just looking at. And some people are very bullish, and they're saying we're going to just get a short pullback and then getting back to the upside. Some people are very bearish, and they're saying this is just a bear market rally, and we're gonna see another massive kind of like a crash to the downside. To be honest, I don't belong to either of these camps. I'm just looking at the chart, and I'm not gonna forecast the market. I just provide an update video just over the weekend and went through a couple scenarios. So we are just gonna educate ourselves day by day, week by week to see where market is gonna go. Right now, we know that this is going to be a very important seller zone, and the sellers are going to take advantage of selling at this area. This is the institutional level. This is the level that got bounced just for the top four initiated this lower low here. So this is very, very important. So that's why the lots of sellers are here, and they're going to put pressure on the market. At the level that I'm looking at, I'm not saying there is guarantee to get there. We may even get there, and we may even go lower than this, but the level that I'm looking at for a nice buying opportunity is going to be 52.55 to 5400, which is going to be this gap area, and also this is the initiation of this rally. So we may see some kind of like a pullback. Second half of May especially is going to accelerate it to the downside all the way to early June. That's the cycle that I have, and that would be a very strong kind of like a bottom formation for the market based on the cycles that they have. I'm gonna follow my analysis. So again, cycles don't mean that we're gonna get to the lower low, higher low, or even double bottom. Cycles means that we are just gonna get the low at that period, and we are just getting another upward move to the upside, potentially the second half of 2025. So that's kind of like the last opportunity I would say buyers can take. I don't know what's going to be the catalyst. I don't know what's going to be the news, but based on my cycles, I'm just looking for a pullback potentially for a higher low here, 52 to 5400. If we don't hold this area, we're going to go all the way down here to 46 to 48, which is going to challenge this low just a little bit lower, but that's going to be great buying opportunities. So there are two kind of like the scenario that I have, and both scenarios after that I'm just looking for a nice rally to the upside. It depends on the time frame that you're trading or even investing. I don't care if you're getting to the lower low or even higher low. I know that I'm going to be buyers and a buyer around this area, and I'm gonna buy more here if it gets here. So I either two scenarios are going to be buyer as well. So moving on to NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the same here. So let me just bring the chart of NASDAQ here. NASDAQ is showing some kind of like resistance here around this 20,200 to 20,800 area. This is all moving averages are congested here along this and this supply area here. So these are two. This is a supply area. This is a pivotal point for the dead cat bounce here for their lower low. So the lots of sellers are here as well. So as I said, you may see some kind of like a pullback to this area, which is going to be 18,000 to 18,300. That's going to be great buying opportunity if you ask me for the next rally to the upside. Dow actually just performed today better, but it's just holding up this trend line here. I don't think Dow is gonna just move higher a little bit. Just the sentiment in the market is going down for the next few weeks, but at the same time, money is gonna flowing back to heavy value names and some dividend payers names. So based on that, Dow can hold up a little bit better compared to S&P 500 or NASDAQ, just because the lots of heavy value names, the lots of dividend payers are allocated in Dow Jones Industrial. So we may see some kind of like a choppiness around here, but If we get back to the downside, I would say Dow can go all the way down to this gap window and gap fill here around this, I would say 39,000 area. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to gold. Let me just go to gold here. Gold had a nice move to the upside. This is 4 hours chart. I was expecting kind of like a sell-off initiated here, but gold just sparking higher and just keep grinding higher. Again, I don't think gold is gonna get back to new all-time high. I think a new rally could be a sell somewhere around even 3,400-ish area. We may get back to that level, but at the same time, just looking for another sell-off all the way to low 3,000 area. That would be great buying signal for me. Until then, my pencil is down. Wait and see how it goes. Moving on to silver. Silver is kind of like a participating gold rally. But recently, silver is just following, not leading. So that's the problem of the precious metals right now. Silver is getting back to the upside, 44 points to the upside, 32.47. And I believe even if silver goes higher, we are not going to get above this high. Potentially, we're going to challenge this pivot, but to this high, I don't think so. And then ultimately looking for this area as a great buying opportunity, 25 to 27.50 for silver. Moving on to crude, let me just go to crude here. Here's the crude. Crude is getting back to the upside nicely after capitulated to the downside. So I would say crude is just forming a double bottom here. There are lots of like a news, fundamental news about the price, about the production, about the level of the production for the OPEC plus, and so there is a pressure from the U.S. that crude price needs to go down because we will have FOMC meeting this week on Wednesday, and that's going to be pressure on FOMC, just because they're saying crude price is down, inflation is down, why you don't bring the rate down? Basically, that's simple as that. And that's why crude price is down. But ultimately, I don't know if it's working well properly or not. But I'm looking at a very nice parabolic move for crude, especially summertime. I don't know if it's going to be geopolitical tension, fundamental news behind that, or etc. No idea. But the formation of crude is forming a very nice upside move, especially second half of this year, potentially because of the war in Middle East. Israel and Iran could be a very, very potential scenario. So we will see how it goes. Uh, moving on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. So let me just make it bigger here. All right, so Bitcoin is just going up, and I believe that the rally is over for Bit, and we are just getting back to the downside. Potentially, this could be a nice scenario to the downside to 72,000, which I was waiting for a long time. And that would be kind of like the beginning of a new rally for Bitcoin to new all-time high. I would say Bitcoin can initiate this sell-off along with technology. That could be kind of like a good leading indicator. Ethereum is the same, consolidating, but seems like it cannot, or it doesn't have enough momentum to breaking through to the upside. So if Ethereum cannot go above this trend line, it can go to even lower low, which is going to be a sub 1,000 level, and that's going to be a fantastic buying opportunity for Ethereum. Bond yield, look at the candle here. I don't know what's happening exactly behind the fundamental, but bond yield is going all the way up to 4.30% and then getting back to the upside. This is a very, I would say, aggressive topping tail here, and this means a lower rate is coming down the road. At the same time, TLT, which is Treasury, is just going down and then forming a hammer candle here, which is nicely forming another bullish momentum to the upside. If we get to 94, 93, I would say it's just forming a very nice bottom scenario here. Look at this. So this is going to be the bottom for Treasury. And if we get back to the upside, this is going to be a neckline, and a similar pattern that I can see is an Alibaba chart. So if you see that when we break above this level, it gave us like a 20 to 25% upside move. I would say it's going to happen with Treasury. It depends on the yield and it depends on the interest rate. Moving on to VIX. VIX spike up today, but it's not that much. So it's just holding up above 23 after hours. Potentially it's going to go higher tomorrow. It's just forming a nice gap fill here around 22. And then we can see another, I would say, jump to $30 if we get a corrective move. Dixie is just forming a consolidation, 99.79. It's just going below 100 level above. Apple just reversing to the downside, and I believe that Apple 179 to 185 is coming down the road, and that could be a potential scenario for Apple. Amazon is the same. It's just going down today, 186, and this is the beginning, I would say, for a new sell-off for lots of names. We may see some kind of like a 170, 160, even lower for Amazon. And that would be perfect scenario for buy, for a capitulation. Meta is just forming higher today compared to the other names. Actually, Meta performed better. 599.27, can't close above 600. Microsoft is the same scenario, just going up today, but after hours, it's just going down, 434. I would say this is topped for intermediate time. Google, the same scenario here, 164.31 is just forming a very, very shallow positive day for Google. Netflix jumped up after gap down today. So it's just trying to hold this area, but this is a parabolic move. This is overstretched, overbought. Anyway, if you want, slice it and dice it. It is overbought, and we need to have a corrective move, potentially again getting back to this area if market is getting to a very sharp sell-off. Tesla forming consolidation, recaptured 280, but after hours goes to 279.28, still holding up this 280 area, I would say. Semiconductor index 217 for SMH, which is forming nicely right now. And here's the SOX, the same pattern, 188, is holding up very well. Taiwan Semiconductor just after hours going lower, 175. AMD. Tomorrow we will have earning. We had a nice pop today, 100 level recaptured. I believe it can go higher to 110 to 116, even 120. So we'll see how it goes, but still it's going to be in downtrend. Nvidia just holding up 113 today. I know it was negative day, but holding up above this trend line, and it can tackle to 120 as well. Texas Instrument, a doji bar, no spectacular move today. Lam Research, the same here, just the doji bar, 73.91. Moving on to financials, they were kind of like the booster for Dow Jones XLF, just forming a 49.38 right now. It's holding up. I would say they're getting to the resistance here. KBE, the same pattern. It's just getting to the resistance here as well. KRE, the same scenario. It's a seller zone. We may see some kind of like a pullback. JP Morgan, obviously, it's getting to 254. Reject that. I believe sellers are gonna take control. Goldman Sachs, the same scenario here. They're gonna take control as well. Bank of America. It is seller zone, folks. For lots of banks, lots of financials are getting into seller zone. Wells Fargo, the same pattern here. Moving on to the GDX, which is gold miners, along with gold just popped, but they were pretty weak, to be honest, the entire session. When gold had like a 3% to the upside, they should have 6-7% upside move. They didn't do that. GDXJ, just the doji bar, 61. AEM, nice pop today, going up 113, but again, as I said, this is not that strong. I'm still looking for a dead cat bounce and then getting back to the upside. Newmont, the same pattern, 59.07. And gold barric, it's just going up and then down. So even after hours, it just barely managed positive today, but this is weak. This is lagging. Last sector for today, XLE, which is energy spider. Along with the crude news, it's just going down today, but I would say it's holding up very nicely, $80 right now. Exxon, not a good shape. It's just getting back to 103, so still try to hold up this area. We may see double bottom or even W pattern down there. Chevron is not doing well today. It's just going down 135.50. Still looking for kind of like a good bottoming phase around this area, even sometimes lower, but that could be a bottoming phase for the next 6 months at least. All right, folks. I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye.